it's really common to hear like an old white man in the Home Office say, kids put everything on Facebook these days. But it doesn't really look to that lower level of, well, children will adjust their privacy settings so that their parents and other people above a certain age can't see their posts, whereas their peers at school can see their posts. So I don't think that it's correct to kind of lump everybody in together. But one thing I do really think about this idea of people saying, I don't care, is that it's really closely linked to agency. I think people say, I don't care because they don't feel like they can change anything. And this is just my experience talking to friends and family and others that I meet, that this idea of, oh, well, Google has everything and I can't change what Google's doing, so I don't care. I think that's a really natural human response to say, I don't care about what I can't change. But as soon as you give someone the ability to change that, they really take it up very quickly. One of the things we did last year was to set up an automatic portal where individuals could send off a complaint to a tribunal about GCHQ mass surveillance. Now, we really expected not that many people to take it up, and 25,000 people sent a legal complaint to the British courts through this system. This is to a court that in 10 years has received 1,000 complaints, and this year received 25,000. So they're basically like calling us being like, we can't handle this.
People do change their settings on Facebook and try to use more privacy-protecting settings, but Facebook changes its policies all the time. Whenever their business model evolves, they change the policy. I worked with human rights defenders who were very paranoid about their Facebook settings. They changed them once a week. They, did like a personal audit, and still they would find that photos they thought were only confidentially shared with friends were now publicly available. So this is an issue of shifting responsibility onto people and then pointing fingers at them and saying, you don't care because you didn't do anything.
If you really find with sharing every detail of your life publicly, go for it. I mean, if you know the consequences, you know what you're doing, and that's what you're going to do. That's an individual choice at the end of the day. But I think that the thing that's really important for us to push for is accountability.
We have companies operating globally with applicable law California, saying, I don't care about your ruling court in El Salvador, in Panama, and lowering the standards and living without any mechanism or remedy to the citizens in the global south. If a government wants to say, no, I don't want actually Facebook to be doing this project with the poor in my country, internet freedom, someone will scream, And this empty concept of internet freedom actually will say that a government that is supposed to care about being able to effectively enforce the right of their citizens, especially the most vulnerable citizens, will not be able to prevent a company to do experiments with the poor in their country, I saw with sadness all the presidents in Latin America wearing the Facebook hoodie and taking selfies with Mark Zuckerberg. But, I mean, imagine how unpopular it is for you voters, and especially leftist governments in Latin America, which the base of support is the poor, to say, no, we don't want Mark Zuckerberg to bring to your favela Facebook for free, right? It's very complex for the general public to grasp that they are giving away all the information of their citizens.
Certain states in America are beginning to legalize at least cannabis. And then Uruguay, famously, has also fully legalized the use of cannabis. But the motivation behind these approaches is very different. In America, it is entirely corporate. They're, to a greater or lesser degree, the corporations are predating on this market, and they are making a mint. Uruguay went down the state-controlled path because their key aim was to take the trade out of the hands of gangsters to protect the population, to get rid of some of the violence, the murders that was associated with the drug trade. So they've gone down a state-regulated mechanism for the cannabis trade. So I think in terms of future technologies, we should also have this debate. Do we want the corporations, to continue to develop a stranglehold on future technology where we have no say in how it's implemented, particularly if ghastly new laws like TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade Investment Partnership, is imposed on 500 million Europeans with no democratic oversight. If that happens, then we are going to be the prey of the corporations, and that's it, we're going to be in lockdown mode. However, we could go down a more state-regulated path in some of these new technologies that evolve, but then of course we have to weigh and the balance between, well, what if the state runs out of control and we head towards some ghastly Stalinist type totalitarianism? These are the sort of debates we need to be having on all these fronts, particularly as the technology is emerging faster and faster, and particularly as we see this sort of increasing integration between the intelligence agencies, the military security complex, and corporations too.